So what it do, E-World? Crisscrossing wires, back with another video, just a really short, quick one, to emphasize once again the point of why would you not use engine braking or an e-brake on an electric bike. The whole purpose normally for most of us PEV riders is to try to have some decent range, and it only makes sense to have your engine brake enabled. I see a lot of guys all the time say that they don't like using engine brake or their e-brake, and I just don't understand that. First of all, it saves your brakes tremendously, especially on regular e-bikes where they had them little teeny pads that you had to put on just about every month anyway, because them things don't last worth a damn. So on my Bomber, man, I had the set of pads I have on there, I've yet to have to change them things, man, on those Maguras, because I use my variable e-brake 100% of the time. Just like I just did right there. Now, your e-brake is not going to stop you to a dead stop, because most cut off after, you know, you set it to disable at a really low RPM or mile per hour. And I have this one set to disengage or engage after 5 kilometers per hour, or about 3 miles an hour. All right, then at that point I use my mechanical brake. But on my power gauge right there, whenever you see negative watts, it's charging. So I'm on the throttle right now, and then I'm off the throttle. I don't know what that is rattling up there. I'm gonna have to find out. Something is rattling under my dash. But anyway, yeah, if you think about that, on the throttle, off the throttle, 20 amps of charge while I'm you know, coasting. While I'm coasting, we're charging with 20 amps. Alright? So imagine that all the time as you ride and commute. You know, I think even if I'm going at higher speed and I only have my off throttle set to 5%, you can set it higher. But the higher you set your off throttle, when you get off the throttle, it's going to start feeling like it's braking or slowing you way down. So if you set it to a low percentage, it's just barely putting some drag on your bike, but it's turning your motor into a alternator. It's charging your battery. So off throttle, if I'm going a decent speed, I may get up to 20-30 amps if I'm going decently fast. If I'm going really fast and I use my variable e-brake, I'm charging at up to 90 amps. 90 amps with full brake engage with enough RPM. Now, like I said, just think about the fact that when you're on the throttle, you're using battery, you're drawing amps, and when you get off the throttle, you're putting energy back. So pretty much 50% of the time, maybe more than that, depending on if you're on the throttle more than you're off the throttle. But if you're riding, commuting, why not be charging when you're not on the throttle? It only makes sense. know what the hell that is rattling up there. What is loose? I'm gonna figure that out. I hate any type of noise. That is the greatest thing that I love about e-bikes, man, is the quietness of them. Now, most petrol bike guys, they joke and tease us about making no noise. They don't understand that that's the whole point. I mean, shit. I don't like all that damn noise. People can hear you accelerating and you're a mile away. If you have to be in a situation where you need to get away, or possibly you on some type of mission, you not being so stealthy, making all that damn noise. Now imagine, you know, the benefits of this stealthiness. You know what I'm saying? You might have to run down on somebody, or you might have to be getting away from somebody or something. Either way, you in super stealth mode. And shit, at nighttime, you turn your lights off, man. Don't nobody see you coming or going. But, again, gotta get rid of that ugly ass phone case I got on, this little Android I'm using up here, man. I had, my daily driver as far as my cell phone is, man, I'm still using a Note 20 Ultra. That's right. Now I know they have the S24s and all that out now, and I usually buy a phone every year because I'm a tech guy. I stay with the latest and greatest. But now cell phones have gotten to the point where you know, they not really getting any better because they've already been so damn good that they change the chips every year. But I mean, at a certain point, you only needed but so much processing power, man. This Note 20 is officially awesome in my opinion. It's still one of the #1. Man, this phone still does everything I needed to do, and then some. Not only that, this was the last model where they made where you can change, you know, the memory, the card in it. You know, you can add storage. So I still like the part that you can add storage. Not only that, MST, where you can do, you know, tap to pay and all that shit. They stopped a lot of that shit. Not just MST. Now you can tap to pay in a lot of places, but some of those places have the old systems where they use MST, and it's not through NFC, I believe, and it works on even those. So some of them things be like, oh no, you can't tap to pay on this one. Yeah. If you have MST, yeah, you can tap to pay. So people don't know that. But anyway, like I said, that expandable storage, and not to mention, I've been a Note guy for years, and that's the last official Note. They actually make them all the same. But anyway, I ain't talking about no damn cell phones right now. But I had another Note. I had 2 Notes. I had one that I used specifically for my bike, and that damn thing fell off and cracked on me. So now I got this other little one, and got a little cheap case on it where the paint is all scuffed on it, so I can't have that. Anyway, I'm gonna have to find me another full-size phone for my display, because that phone is small, doesn't even fit the whole thing. But yeah, and by the way, that is kilowatt. People keep asking me, I've been using this forever, but people ask me, what display you using? That is kilowatt. kilowatt app. However, now kilowatt, the great thing about it is this shows all of your telemetry, your battery voltage, your amps, your temperature in the motor, temperature in the controller. It has a dyno section in the rear where it can calculate horsepower, wheel speed. I mean, it does everything. It's like a little you know, basically a little electronic dyno and at the end of this thing. But unfortunately, that's only for ASI, okay? So any BAC controller you can use that with a third-party app. Now, if you don't have an ASI, you can use this for a display, and this is Thunder GPS, okay? This is a GPS app for Android, and it's got all types of different dashes on it. My glove ain't working right now, all right, but yeah, you see it's got different dashes, and I mean, you could use that for a display. The only thing is it doesn't have any telemetry like voltage and battery percentages and all that. Obviously, it's just a GPS app, but that's the difference with kilowatt, because that's you know, running through my controller through Bluetooth. I get to see all my telemetry data that I need. But anyway, back to the talking about the regen, man. If you're not using your Ebrake, come on, man, what's wrong with you guys, man? That's the benefits of having an electric vehicle. Now, normally, maybe people don't like an Ebrake because it's normally wired into your high brake or your low brake on your brake levers. So no matter what you have your Ebrake setting at, it's the same all the time as far as how much power it's applying to your stopping. So when you squeeze your brake lever, if you have it set to 90 amps, it's 90 amps, and however many watts that is worth of stopping power every time you squeeze it. So that may be a thing, so you can't set it that high. But I have a variable right there. As you can see, it's like a thumb throttle, but kinda. Anyway, depending on how hard I push that is how much stopping power I get. See, that was all Ebrake slowing me down and stopping me. But anyway, fellas, that's it. So yeah, I came out this morning to do a draggy just to see, because I did a few draggies yesterday, but it was after my battery was already down to like 63%. And yeah, I started to do a range test, but I muffed that up because I still could have did it, but I was keeping an account of all the miles on the GPS app, and I actually hit the reset and resetted the damn thing. But I had went about 50 miles up to that point, and at that point I was down to 63%. So I had 50 miles at the 63% with a mix of driving on the highway and in the city. But crazy part is most of that was highway, and for doing a range test, I really wasn't making the best of my battery, because when I left here I went straight and jumped on the highway and rode 23 miles non-stop on the highway doing an average speed of about 70 miles an hour until I reached my destination. So when I got to this little park, I had already put a nice little dent in my battery, but I would still say it was reasonably good. Now, when I left, I started at not quite full, about 82.5% if I remember correctly, and I did that 23 miles on the highway and when I got down there, I was at 78 point something. 78 point something after 23 miles on the highway. Then I came back riding through the city, and when I got close up to home, like I said, I was at about 50 miles with 63% left, riding like that. But by no means was that ride, was I trying to be conservative at all. I mean, I was, you know, I was burning up some juice. And I didn't have my engine braking on when I was on the highway, because when I first left. Now, if your voltage is high as far as being close to full charge, mainly your controller won't let you do it anyway, but it's best not to use your off throttle at that point, because your voltage is, your battery is almost at full charge, so you don't want to, that's like keep charging your pack when you're at full, you know, you don't want to overcharge. So it will either cut regen power at that point, or you know, you just disabled it. So I had jumped on the highway, so I had disabled it. And I really didn't even need to, because I wasn't at quite full, and that probably would have got me a little more range as far as that highway ride. But anyway, it's early. It ain't, well, it's 10:45, and that's early for me, because my ass don't normally roll out of bed till 11, 12 o'clock. So I'm gonna get back on this range test today. Right now I gotta run back to the house and take wifey to Sam's Club. It's time for us to do, normally sometime once a month we do our little grocery shopping. She likes to go to Sam's and spend up a whole bunch of goddamn money, but at least I only got to do that once a month. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll be back out here later on and try to